Good morning, everybody. We are tuning in for race 2, 3, and 4 of the SISU racing that is all of July. This race was really fun, but really difficult because when it started, the draft was so fast. I don't know how these people were going so fast. Even the D riders were like pushing it. I think stage 2, everyone was super excited since stage 1 was an ITT. And this one was just really exciting to be a part of. The draft was drifting away so fast, and I was doing all I could to keep up. And then I realized there was going to be more people coming behind me, so I was going to try and stick with them as long as I could. So here they are, that new draft, and I was just sticking with them as long as I could. They eventually drifted away from me as well. And there's only one real climb in this, and it's a 10-minute, 12-minute climb, depending on how fast you are, I guess. I'm sure some people do it much faster, but a good, decent climb, and this one was just super fun. So here you can see the draft started drifting away, but there was one person that was kind of stuck right there with me. I don't think they have a lot of race experience, but they were right there with me, and I was drafting off of them for a while. Eventually I tried to step in front so they could draft off of me, but I don't think they were wanting me to get in front of them. So unfortunately, this rider was a little bit stronger than me, and I felt kind of bad drafting off them the entire time. But I really did try to jump in front a few times, as you can see, but every time I jumped in front, they wanted to jump right back in front, and I wasn't going to leave them. I wasn't strong enough to leave them. She did let me step in front for a little bit here, but then got right back in front. And so you can see I'm in like blue, green, and then I pushed to the red to jump in front. I just couldn't hold that. But it was nice to be able to get a little bit of recovery since that draft in the beginning was so aggressive. And here is where that climb started. So it was, I think, about 12 minutes it took me to do. I wasn't super fast, but there were two people that had caught up to me because they were drafting off each other, which is exactly what you're supposed to do. So I was able to kind of stick with them and pace myself that way. It gets a little boring when you're by yourself, but it was super fun to just try and chase them down. I knew that they were probably a little bit heavier riders than me, but for them to just be powering up the mountain, I was like, dang, I got to get stronger. And again, this is only race 2, so there's so much more growth to come. And I believe those two riders that caught up did leave me on that mountain. I just wasn't putting down the amount of power that I really needed to be putting down. But you can see here I've been on the bike for about 40 minutes, and I've been bouncing up into the red zones, but kind of staying blue, yellow, and green. And then I go ahead and I get to the top of this mountain here, and I believe I want to say it was about 12 minutes, but we'll find out here soon. And then you got to keep powering down the mountain so that you can get that speed picked up. And the race is almost over. Okay, so we have finally made it to the final push. I slowed the video down. Well, not slowed it down, but I put it back to normal speed so that we could really see how the speed is. And I'm going 22 miles an hour, but it literally feels like I'm going 4. I'm putting as many watts as I can down, what I have left. My heart rate's really high. I think it ends up getting close to 200, which is about my max. And right here, I crossed that finish line. I finished that race in 50 minutes and 40 seconds. I definitely get stronger throughout the rest of the races, but this was a really good effort for me. It was all I could do. You can see that red at the beginning, and you can see all those bursts of red. The only real true recovery I had was down the mountain where I was not really pedaling. Again, you can see my power output is right there at the top as well of what I've ever been able to do. And I'm just super excited to share with you guys how I improve. Okay, don't laugh at me, guys. It is 3-something in the morning here in this video. I don't even know what's going on. I woke up in the middle of the night to do this race because I coached cheerleading and we had choreography. So I've been at the cheer gym for like 13 hours that day. And then the next day I had to wake up and do this race because it was the only time left I could do it. And this was a really, really, really rough race. I think it was like the sleep and recovery. I wasn't able to hold any bit of the draft. I was barely even able to put down like watts. Couldn't get my heart rate up, and that's not me complaining. That was just my actual like limitations that day. And it took me a really long time to finish this race, but I think it got to the point where the goal was to just get it over with and accept my defeat, basically. I did get my power up just a little bit, but pushing over like 70 watts, I thought I was gonna die. I'm gonna guess that's because I had no sleep, but again, I set a new PR there, so something's working in my favor today. And I just hope you guys get a good laugh out of this race. So there isn't really anything too exciting about this race, but the climb here on the nights of the Roundabout, I want to say that's the route. But again, we have this climb and it's not a terrible climb. It is a little bit longer considering I've been on the bike for an hour and a half. I'm ready to get off. I was in a bad mood. I was tired. You can see my effort. Like I just wasn't really able to hold these efforts. I'm in the gray zone. I've dropped below. But the goal again was to just get this race over with. I didn't want to stop. I still had a long ways to go. I had 10 more miles. And I've already been on the bike for an hour and a half, so I knew I was in for it. But at least I was able to finish it before barely the sun came up and then go right to work. Finally, we are here for the last push. I really cranked it up again to those high wattages. I started warm up a little bit, like my body started to wake up towards the end of this route. And just under 2 hours and 15 minutes, I finished this race. Again, I was moving so slow, but I was able to put down some good wattage at the end, get it nice and red. And you guys will see my effort chart at the end. And again, this just literally went on and on forever. I think it was the longest ride I've ever done in terms of time, and probably one of the longest rides I've ever done in terms of miles or kilometers. And I was really proud of myself for just finishing this race, not to mention I did it at 4 in the morning. And you can see I'm just ready to get off the bike. My wattage was so low at 1.2 average. But sometimes you just got to take the small wins. My win that day was that I finished the race. I biked for the longest I've ever biked. But you can see we've moved right on into stage 4. Stage 4 was a good one. And then the videos after this, you guys will get to see the Alp and then the last ITT. The draft does leave me pretty quickly. I believe some other people kind of catch up, or maybe I just stay by myself. But I was able to keep a higher wattage. I was staying in the yellowish zone, green to yellow. And then I obviously do my pushes in red. And there is someone that I had seen. So I was drafting off of them. They were drafting off of me. And we were just kind of doing that little thing. I was doing the sprints. This was a big sprint one for me. So I really pushed on those sprints and then used the time after to recover, so you can see those big pushes of red at the bottom of the screen, and then some green and yellow, and then pushes right back into red for those sprints. This was a lot of sprints in this one. All right, after all of those really hard effort sprints, we have made it to the final sprint effort. I'm already in the red zone, not super high red, but I'm still in the red. And the sprint is coming up. I really wanted to PR on this sprint. I was really working for all the sprints. And I was just super excited to get this one over with. I was super proud of what I was doing with all my sprints. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, thank you all for watching. And again, at the end, you'll get to see my power and my time and all of that. And here we are. That race is over. Race 4 is done. My wattage was back up, and I was super proud of what I was doing. You guys can see that power output here in just about 3 seconds. I was breathing, girl. I was breathing. And here is that power. Lots of red sprints and then dropping down to green and yellow. And thank you all for tuning in. See ya on Alp.